we will pick our teams for the game. Alisson Becker will be in goal. Gorsty, does the back four stay as the back four, or is there possibly an argument for Konate coming back in, possibly for Joel Matip?
No, I don't think so. I think Matip doesn't need to play Tuesday, does he? And Van Dijk certainly doesn't. So I see no reason with playing both of those, and then they'll have a week's rest for Villa on the 11th. So yeah, I'd be keeping. I'd be keeping the entire 11 the same to spoil it for you. I'm not making any changes.
Unfortunately, we are going to have to go through it to fill out the podcast. But Theo, hopefully you're going to make a change or two across the team. In defence, any for you, or is it just same again?
It's a hard one because I'd approach the two games just that you've got your one eye on AC Milan and then you've got your one eye on this. It's almost like they did with those friendlies, didn't they, against Bilbao and Osasuna, where you split 11s and you do one and then the other. I think Joe Gomez, it might be too soon for him to be back against AC Milan. It's like, well, do you throw Nat Phillips in at the San Siro when he's not started yet? Or are you keeping one of those three centre-backs in for that, along with the one who doesn't start this one? This is just a long way to get your minutes out and fill out your little snippet for your team selector, because I'm just going to go for Joel Matip and the rest of the back four. But yeah, it's hard to really push for many changes when they are in form, when they are picking up these wins, and when they've actually got some quite nice spaces in between games at the moment. With Tuesday's game against Milan being a dead rubber for them, that doesn't really matter much on the turnaround, but they've still gone Wednesday, Saturday. It's a nice kick-off time. Having had a nice kick-off time on the weekend before, it has actually been quite a nice week for Liverpool to get those days on the training field and get the best out of their players. There were no new injuries reported. You wouldn't really see any need to put in Nico Williams or Kostas Tsimikas because they just play at the San Siro. And I think if you're a young player and you're going to get 90 minutes, you'd rather play at the San Siro than Molineux. No offence to Wolves. I know the game means more, but it's one of those stadiums you want to take in, isn't it? That might just be me being a football nerd. You want to play at San Siro. You want to go to the San Siro. But yeah, back four picks itself. I wouldn't be surprised if he did throw Konate in and wanted to do Konate and Matip for Milan, but I don't see any reason to change it when we've had Matip out recently, and Klopp made that reference in his press conference that they've made a lot of changes in the last few weeks. So they don't need to now at the start of December. Do you want me to just carry on, or is Gorsty now going to tell us Fabinho, Thiago, Henderson?
Yeah, I mean, you can make the case for Oxlade-Chamberlain, of course. Milner come on for a bit, didn't he, on Wednesday night? But yeah, I just don't see any reason to change it. If everyone's come through the game with a clean bill of health, then I'd be keeping it as it is.
My one on midfield would be, I'd be tempted to bring Milner in, but I'm not sure for who, and that's only because he's suspended against AC Milan. So you might want to have one of your senior options in there alongside what we'd assume would be Morton and Oxlade-Chamberlain. I suppose it's which one of the three do you drop? Like, it's very harsh to say Fabinho have a night off, Hendo have a night off, or Thiago have a night off when they're playing so well. I would like to keep one of them back.
Thiago has started the last 4 games, is it, or the last 5 possibly? I think there is a bit of me that thinks he might take him out, but at the same time, he did come off after 55, 60.
You can make the argument for all of them, couldn't you? Because you could say if you wanted to give Fabinho a rest, you just put Henderson as the number 6, and then you got Milner and Thiago either side. I wouldn't be surprised if there was that change, but you could make the argument for any one of the three to come out and be safe for AC Milan, with probably Milner coming in, and then you've got Oxlade-Chamberlain and Morton making it up in midweek. But unhelpfully for our graphic makers here, I'm not telling you which one because I don't know who it would be. It could be any of the three, but it could just be the first choice 3, as Gorsty has alluded to.
But that's the value of having that Champions League group one as comfortably as it was, because now Liverpool, in a month where they've got 9 games, they can essentially write off that, not so much write off the Milan game, but they don't have to be going there with Salah, Mane, Jota in desperate need of the points, do they? They can take the foot off the gas and get as rested as they can for Aston Villa on Saturday, and then go from there. And I think we'll see the same with that Leicester game just before Christmas as well in the Carabao Cup. So yeah, it just shows you, it is the reason you want to get your Champions League group done and dusted as early as possible. And Liverpool haven't always had that in December, which has made it a little bit more trickier than it should be, because it's always a busy month, isn't it? Busiest month of the year, of the season.
Yeah, Theo, I'll come back to you for the attack. It's almost certainly going to be Salah, Jota and Mane again, isn't it? But I suppose for Diogo Jota, at least, it'd be quite nice to go back to his former club in form, get a couple of goals. I'm sure Salah will want to start as well. There's not really much need to change it there either.
No, there isn't. Wasn't Jota benched as well for his first game against Wolves last year? So it will definitely want to get a couple against them. I think memory's telling me Origi's actually got quite a good record against Wolves. I know we talk about him always scoring against Everton, but I believe his record against Wolves is pretty decent as well. But then you just don't see any need to change the front three. Like, Origi and Minamino are going to be starting against AC Milan because that's the chance for him. It's that platform for them. And they're going to get minutes in the League Cup, in the FA Cup, and when Salah and Mane depart. So just use Salah and Mane while you can. And Jota's in form. And then it's, do you keep one of them back for game in midweek? You'd imagine Salah wants to start every game and just score every game. But you'd protect Mane, you'd protect Jota. So they're starting this, and you're not going to take Salah out of a Premier League game to keep him for a Champions League dead rubber. So, yeah, the first choice, available front three is very much the three that are going to be starting this. And you'd be surprised if at least one of them wasn't on the score sheet tomorrow.
Let's finish with match predictions then. I think I'm going to go for a fairly safe 2-0 win. I think Liverpool will score 2 again and probably keep a clean sheet as well. Ghosty, what do you think it might be?
Yeah, they're normally tough games at Molineux, aren't they? I think Liverpool have won by 1 goal, is it, in the last 2 or 3 times they've been there? Certainly last season was hard fought 1-0 that got Liverpool back on the road to that top 3 finish. Jota, wasn't it? Yeah, Liverpool in free scoring form, but I think it will be tough. 2-1.
Theo, come across to you. What do you think it might be? I think you went for 3 or 4 goals, didn't you, earlier in the podcast? So it could be a big one.
Yeah, I'm sticking with that. They seem to do it every game at the moment. So I'll say 3-0. They're in form. They're all scoring goals. No reason to think that will change against Wolves. No disrespect to them, but Liverpool are just in another league at the moment.
Yeah, 2 goals in 5 games it is, by the way, for Divock Origi against Wolves. So not the worst record in the world. But that will do us then. We've made our team selections and our match predictions as well. And I think that just about brings us to the end. Thanks to Paul and to Theo for joining me, and for you at home as well for doing so. We'll have all of the coverage, of course, of the Wolves game across theecho.com and Blood Red. And we'll be back on Monday for a review of the match and a look ahead to AC Milan in the Champions League. Until then, though, it's goodbye for now.